Hi guys, it's me Annie and I'm back with another video. Welcome to Annie's Creations. Today we'll be cooking in my pressure cooker and I'm going to show you how to make a very delicious and rich chicken stock inside your pressure cooker. And it only needs to cook for 45 minutes. And it costs next to nothing because I'm using the chicken bones from a rotisserie chicken that we had, and then also some veggie scraps that I saved up in the freezer. So let's get cooking. So I've got a whole chicken carcass over here. It's still frozen. I just took it out of the freezer, but I think it will be fine just to pressure cook it frozen. I'm just going to increase the cooking time with a little bit. So if it's thawed out, you can cook it for only 45 minutes, but because it's frozen, I'm gonna cook it for 50 minutes instead. So we'll place the frozen chicken or the chicken carcass in the bottom of our pressure cooker. Now I've collected a whole lot of vegetables. These are vegetable scraps that I collect over the week or so while I'm cooking. So I just toss it into the freezer to use it for the chicken stock. So I'm going to put these veggies onto the chicken. In it I've got some celery, I've got onion pieces. It's not even totally peeled because we're going to strain this afterwards. I've got pieces of carrot and even the peeled carrot as well, the peels. And what else have I got in here? I've even got a piece of broccoli stem. So all of that goes into my crock pot. So we are ready to add some seasoning and then some water, and then we'll let it start cooking. If you want to use fresh vegetables instead of the vegetable scraps, you can use 2 celery stalks, 2 onions that you just cut in half, and 1 peeled carrot, and just chop it up into smaller pieces before you put it in. And then the seasoning will still be the same, but that's just in case you don't want to use the veggie scraps but want to use the fresh veggies. That's how you go about it. I also forgot to mention you can use the leaves on your celery in the stock as well. It gives a very great flavor to the stock. For the seasoning, I'm adding 2 sprigs of fresh rosemary. You can add 2 sprigs of fresh thyme or parsley instead if you do not have rosemary. I'm going to add 3 leaves of bay leaves. I'm adding 3 because they are rather small. If you have bigger bay leaves, you can add only 2. Then I'm going to add a teaspoon of peppercorns. And the recipe calls for a tablespoon of salt, but because I want to make this low sodium, I'm only using half a tablespoon of salt. And that's it for the seasoning. So now we're going to add some water and then we're going to start cooking. For the water, you want to use cold tap water or filtered water. Do not use warm water. So you're going to need 10 cups of water. And that is 10 cups of water. Just make sure that your water is under the maximum line. So it's about 2 centimeters under the maximum line over here. So I know it's fine. It won't explode the pressure cooker or do anything weird. You want to place the lid on, lock it, and make sure this valve is on sealing, not on venting. You want it on sealing so that it can come to pressure. So for the chicken stock, we are going to pressure cook, and we are going to take it way up. So if the chicken and vegetables are thawed out and fresh, you can just cook it for 45 minutes. But because mine came out of the freezer, I'm gonna cook it for 50 minutes. And then it's on high pressure, so I press start. So what you want to do is cancel or stop the keep warm setting, because you do not want it to stay on keep warm. We are going to let the pressure cooker naturally release for 30 minutes before opening it. So now I let it sit and natural release for about 40 minutes. And I'm going to just make sure there's no more steam inside and that the pin has dropped. I heard the pin go. So it's safe to open the lid. It's a chicken stock. If you want to make a bone broth, you are going to have to pressure cook it for 120 minutes and then follow the same steps with natural release afterwards. But for the chicken stock, I natural release for 40 minutes and then opened the valve, made sure it's safe and took off the lid. And now it's time for me to let this cool down for a little bit before I strain out all the solid bits. I use this strainer to strain out the biggest pieces of the vegetables and chicken bones, and then I just transfer it into a bowl, and this makes it easier for me to strain the rest of the liquid through a sieve. And then I will transfer it to the fridge to cool down, and as it cools down, the fat will solidify and come to the top, and then I will just scoop that off as well before I decide to either freeze the stock or put it in the fridge to keep for up to 5 days. If you freeze it, you can keep it for up to 3 months in the freezer. So what I do is I measure mine out and I freeze it into cup measures, and I freeze it and use it as I need it. So once you're happy and you feel that you have removed the biggest pieces out of the liquid, we are ready to strain it through the sieve into a bowl so that I can put it in the fridge. I'm going to strain the rest of the liquid through this fine sieve, and that will pick up all the little bits and pieces that's still left. And I'm straining it into a big bowl that I can just put in the fridge so that it can cool down and the fat can solidify on top. Now you can see there's still quite a bit left that you do not want in your chicken stock. So I'll remove that, and what you're left with is clear liquid chicken stock, and it's beautiful and it smells lovely. And this is what the chicken stock looks like after it's been strained. It's beautifully clear and it's a beautiful golden color. It smells delicious and I can't wait to use it for my cooking. This is an everyday chicken stock that you can use in soups and stews and making pasta or cooking up rice or brown rice or quinoa, however you like to use your chicken stock. You will notice once your chicken stock has cooled down, there's a fatty layer that's starting to form on the top. And then if that happens, you can just scoop that off with a spoon and discard that and use your chicken stock as normal. I'm going to just take off the fatty bits that I can see now, and then I'm going to transfer this chicken stock into my containers, and then once it cools even more, it will probably make a little bit more fat on the top. I will skim that off, and then I'll decide which of the containers I'll keep in the fridge for 5 days, and the others I will freeze in my freezer for up to 3 months. Now I've got 1 cup and 2 cup containers, and these are the ones that I'm going to put in the freezer. I also have mason jars that I can use. These are glass. I can freeze these. I just don't want to fill them too far, so I'll only fill them up to there, so there's a little bit of space so that the glass won't crack once frozen. As you can see, these hold 2 cups and there's a little bit of space at the top. I hope you enjoyed this video today, and if you did, be sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you. So guys, this is all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.